Hello and welcome to Banking Frontiers Live. We have some very interesting conversations on how the financial sector is transforming, what kind of digital transformations are happening, and how the industry is planning to take its business lead in the new era of post COVID. Along with me today, I have Mr. Joseph of Lulu Exchange, and he has been in the forefront of transformation, in the forefront of innovations, and has been driving the key digital and technology initiatives for Lulu Financial. Joseph, welcome to Banking Frontiers Live.
Thank you, Mr. Babu. Happy to be here.
Welcome. Joseph, we have been seeing a lot of changes in the last few months. You must have seen even the same thing in the Middle East and India and all over the world. What is the change that you have seen in the regulatory trends in last few years, and how have they changed their outlook towards towards supporting the financial ecosystem, or in supporting the fintech, or looking at developmental growth?
Great. That's a great question. Uh, Thankfully, actually, I was able to see this change across the regulators as I'm talking about 5 to 6 years back. We were entering into this space, and there were a lot of questions asked, and to get an appointment with some regulators on this particular topic itself was quite challenging. And when you are there, it's like a lot of questions because nobody was very clear, even actually about the cybersecurity part, like how do you something goes wrong, and actually who takes the ownership, like because we as an exchange house don't hold the customer's account, so that has to be linked back to either a payment gateway or a particular bank. Now the questions is to be always vague around, like now who owns the security, or who is liable for something goes wrong. Now if last 3 4 years, what I've seen is like in this region is like the regulators speak and they understand technology very well. All right. So,
Okay.
when you go in there, actually, when you have an open discussion, you see like it's very encouraging. They encourage us to talk, and when the questions actually they ask about the platform, they like to know actually on what platform is your mobility platform running on, which is I was surprised. I'm like, okay, we only just started using this particular platform, and actually they are okay. You're using XYZ mobility platform. Good, actually. Oh, good. So, oh, it's quite expensive, but I know, do we have a team to manage it off? This kind of conversation actually, it eases up, because we as technology people, when they talk, like we feel like, we don't want to actually, go and talk jargons and, rub the wrong side of the regulators, but we see like, they are one step ahead of us. Okay. Because they see tens of people like us every day. They meet technology vendors. Okay, they attend all these seminars and they go for all these conferences and all. So they understand what's happening in the rest of the world and in the fintech industry. We see them as quite encouraging, and even the decision makers at their level are from markets which has seen the fintech growth in the last decade or so, and very seasoned people. So now actually, when the good thing about this regulators today I see is like at the same level, like they start with policy, they can talk technology, again they can talk evaluate a business model, right? So last time when we were talking at it, interesting portion was like they knew actually our document was clean, completed. So they did not ask anything from that. The only questions they were asking us was about customer experience. So they were saying, isn't it difficult for the customer? Isn't it difficult for the customer? Will the customer use it? We were surprised. This should be asked by my marketing guy, should be asked by my products team. And we were like, okay, are you going to give me some more leverage on it? Are you going to give me some more options to do it? That was very interesting. And what I learned over this is like, with regulators is like, talk to them. Okay, have that constant conversation going. They love it. They encourage. Now actually, during this period, we have at least uh, once in a month, at least we have a video call actually with the regulator in the top regulator in this region. Okay, because they really would like to know actually what's the next step, what we are doing, because a lot of applications that we put in, they come online and ask, guys, actually, how are you going to, what is your risk mitigation model? How, is the technology, where is the data hosted? Data, these are the questions actually they would like to know. And actually, the more actually we give them information, the more comfortable they are. So the way actually to go about is to keep the conversation going in and open up everything for them and actually tell them your problems. If you have a doubt, ask them directly, which actually they love to solve it for us. And these days, they are becoming solution providers rather than just sitting and actually making policy makers. They are also helping us make decide on helping us on problem solutions too, which are good things that I'm seeing it out here. Regulators should have consortium and say if one country has adopted one particular policy, we are present in across 9 countries. So what happens is if you get a license or a particular, let's say, API banking license in Bahrain, for example, can I passport it across? Right. So I don't have to go and repeat that in every of these GCC countries because GCC it's a union, right? Can regulations come like that? Let's say, for example, UAE. I'm regulated, well regulated, reputed by Central Bank of UAE. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 activities can be done. Can I now passport it across this GCC? Okay. Now you put your limits. Okay, but you need a bank guarantee across. Put that kind of conditions. Now what happens is like the growth now becomes little slower because you need to go and set up everything from scratch in every country. It's quite you have to invest a lot. Time takes a lot. You have to replicate all your compliance team, everything. So probably with the size and with the scale, I think what we should be allowed is like that single common platform across the countries. Maybe actually in the future should start thinking that could be a right way to go.
Very noble thought. It is like probably starting a euro within the GCC countries. Now, when you come to the technology trends in the financial sector in the recent past, what are all the key technologies that are making trends in the region these days?
From the finance standpoint, actually, industry, I see like the contactless has made a huge leap. So the payments is whether the Apple Pay or any of your debit or credit card actually going contactless. That's become a quite huge thing out here. Now, in terms of technology, I think the blockchain is little. I would say like it was like people gave a solution. It was a solution actually, but nobody knew what was the problem it was solving. So actually, that was the thing with the blockchain piece about it. I think now recently actually fascinated with some AI chatbots which some of the players have launched here. So I'm a consumer of such solutions. Quite interesting, quite smartly built solutions around. But I think it's too early to actually because this region in the e-commerce or in the online space was little slow compared to rest of the countries. The main reason was this UAE especially has beautiful shopping malls. Okay, and our weekends and our leisure times are spent in the shopping malls. So we love to go out there. But now what we are seeing is like, given a choice, I would say like the essentials will still be on order online, but still people actually would still go back and do that. Their direct shop visits that would still happen. So it's going to be a hybrid things. So technologies have adopted that omni-channel approach, whether it is in the banking space or it's on the retail side. So it's going to be that. So I would select all my orders online. Whatever heavy items, actually, I would say like deliver it home, but something which I like to go myself, pamper myself, enjoy, pick it up from the shelf, I would still go and pick it up. So, but how can actually I can blend technology there. That is where actually, people are innovating still. I've seen some self-checkout machines in major retailers out here, but hardly that adoption is still yet to come, because people say like, if I am visiting the store, I would rather actually stand in queue and actually make the payment across the counter. That the cultural change is still happening. but it's yet to catch up. But I see like a lot of investments going in these areas.
That's a good technology trend that you have spoken about, and already the people are working hard on this particular technology of. Already we started off with video KYC, but the deep fakes are definitely a serious problem, which we may probably need to counter with a lot more, caution in the future. Great. And you have been always at the helm of innovations. You have worked with a lot of new companies or startups and things like that. Now, there are two things when it comes to introducing these innovations. On one side is the CIO's challenge to ensure that it is technically superior, it is technically robust, it is technically scalable. The second is the chief compliance officer's requirement that this technology has to be really compliant with all the security practices and all the requirements of the regulators. And there cannot be an iota of compliance issues because the regulator is not going to be easy on anybody who breaks the regulation. On the third side, you have your business sitting upon your head saying, hey, you have to deliver this in so and so date. My competitor is already delivering it, and it is your responsibility to say to it that we deliver. Now, sitting in between the competitor and the business, you are in a dilemma on how to create a right path, okay, which is suitable for the business at the same time having an appropriate compliance satisfaction as well. And technically, it is robust and scalable enough. How do you manage this in your scenario, in your kind of thing? Are there technology tools with you which you do it, or you create strategies that help you to do this?
Very interesting question, Babu. Am yet to invent that magic band. I still not solved that problem, but we have a roadmap towards it. Like, one of the approaches by internally building up a startup within the company for RegTech. So the idea of bringing or taking that, copying that term and building it in house is like to bring the compliance team very closer to IT, right? So we make them believe that actually many of your problems we understand and we stand with you. That is the way actually, because you can't go and grow a financial institution with only a customer experience and product mindset. Because if you want to sustain for next 20 years, right, you have to invest heavy on compliance. And actually you have to really, the whole organization's DNA has to now say, was compliance, IT security has to be two strong pillars, right? So unless these two are seriously taken care by the top management, fortunately, we understand that, it's going to be very difficult. So the first thing is the business team, whenever they come with the requirement, unlike the previous years, saying like compliance is some nerd's headache. No, that is not the way. Actually, all of you need to actually adhere to that. You have to understand what is the policies, because the documents are available black and white. Actually, the central banks, especially central banks in this region, they give us all that policies, clear instructed compliance manuals to all the business teams. So we have to stick to that. On top of that is where actually you have to build your innovations. So drawing that line very clearly, and most of the time it is about, like I mentioned, it is about having discussions. So I would call like, what is finally, I would say like, how do you describe what is a fintech? Okay, what is the difference between a large bank who has huge technology team or a large IT technology company who has a huge workforce, who understands finance, and what is the difference between them and a typical fintech? So I would describe it like this. There is a line called regulations, that border you cannot cross, right? So it is very strict written. So fintech is like using technology. You go towards, you just go parallelly with it, like you go aside without disturbing anybody. So you just you play a safe game, right? But can you do something to actually solve the pain point? Yes, you are solving it out, but at the same time, are you crossing the borderline? It depends on how you have that conversation, when that particular topic comes. So everywhere there is, that line is not thick and border. It's not, like a Chinese wall. Actually, there is an area of, comfort here and there you can move. So using technology, play it safe. So, that is what I always encourage the business team, the compliance, and the IT to actually come together and discuss it. And always our compliance team comes with a mindset of like, uh, defend and grow, rather than saying no to everything. Actually, they're taken a policy of like, let's defend and grow. I mean, say, like Rahul Dravid. No, that is where actually the approach of compliance team should be.
Fantastic, Joseph. Thank you very much for such an interesting session. And we got length and breadth of insights into the market here. And thanks to you for sharing all these great experiences with us. We look forward to more interesting interviews with you.
Thank you, Mr. Babu. Thank you for having me here. The pleasure is all mine. Thank you.